Hello, Jess and Nick Reed-Robbins. It's lovely to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations, you are finalists in the,
I know, that's crazy.
in the very aptly named, very long name. It's Extraordinary Contribution During the Pandemic category of the 2022 NLP Awards.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. So I'm very lucky. I mean, I have nothing to do with the with choosing the finalists, but I do get to read all the nominations. And wow, I've got your nomination in front of me, and just reading some of the things that are on it. So it says here, I'll read this out to you. Jess and Nick have created an amazing supportive community who've been able to navigate through the pandemic together. Many people were single and alone in their homes, but could reach out and feel loved whenever they wanted. They have offered multiple free services, helping people through some of their hardest times. They have helped people through redundancy, starting up new businesses, changing careers, and even helped bring a miracle baby into the world. So do tell us a little bit more about the work that you are doing. Tell us about Miracle Baby if you like, but do tell us a bit more about the work that you're doing that's led to this nomination.
Blimey. I think before the pandemic, I probably were doing pretty much the same as most other NLP schools. So we had our face-to-face trainings, we had practice sessions, we had a form of a community, but not necessarily a family. And I think suddenly the lockdown hit us the same way as it hit everybody else, because it was, we do a lot of corporate work, and suddenly overnight our income dried up, and we were kind of like, okay, we're doing face-to-face courses, they're all cancelled, how long is this going to last? And I think we did the same things everybody else. We sort of panicked initially, went through our little strategy of like, okay, what's this mean? And then very quickly we were kind of like, okay, worst case scenario, we can't work for the rest of the year. How long can we last? I think that was the first. How long can we last without any money? And then what else can we do now? And I think our initial instinct was, we've got the tools to sit here and go through this strategy and add the right meanings and deal with our limiting beliefs and deal with our fears. And so many people out there didn't have that. And I think that immediately hit us, that how lucky we were, that oh my God. And we thought about our students, and we thought, oh my God, how many of our graduates are out there who need reminding that this is the way to tackle this situation. And I think that was the immediate kind of, it was like an instinct to just reach out. So the first thing that we did was we reached out to all our students. We went on to we made our practice sessions online and weekly, just to kind of say, hey, we're here if you need a reminder. And then we thought, oh my God, who else? Who else needs this out there? Because we were so lucky that we had these tools. So then we started Time to Thrive, which was for the public, anyone, these webinars once a week to teach NLP, basically, to teach the skills that we were using. And then we thought, well, if there's people out there, we've both been in dire situations and in our lives. And we thought, well, if there's anybody out there that just needs a one-to-one, we'll put a day aside for free sessions, free coaching sessions. No obligation, confidential, just phone us and book in, and was a book online. And that was kind of, and we had no idea what was going to happen. We just knew that we had to serve. We just had to do something in the gap, really, because we didn't know when we'd be able to work again. And suddenly this community starts forming around us, basically. So our graduates sort of came home, as it were, and showed up every week, and they started feeling empowered to share with other people. And we took it in turns, I think, to do the sessions. And looked after a little boy in the somehow
learning on the job like everyone else, figuring out Zoom and
oh my god,
how to train, and it was but just recognizing, like Jess said, how lucky we were to have these skills and to have each other to bounce off. But lots of people didn't have that, so I thought if we can just give them the basics and allow them to stabilize a little bit like we did, and then we can go from there. And that was really important for us to crack on and help as many people figure that out, and then from there we can just build and help each other as much as possible.
Does it? And even 2 years on, there's still people in our community that are on their own in their houses, and they're still alone.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart, because I mean, it's just not the human condition to be on your own. And so to have that family feel, and it really is a family feel. We've got WhatsApp groups for every day chit chat, and they reach out and they support each other, which is just beautiful. Our graduates stay on the because we offered a 2-day foundation course in NLP. So we thought, right, we'll throw together all the tools that are going to help people through a pandemic, and we'll put them in a 2-day course, and we'll do it for free. And people from that group came onto like a WhatsApp group to kind of support each other. And all of our graduates that went on to do the further training because they wanted to earn some money, they wanted a career, they wanted something, have stayed on and then support the people in that group. I mean, it's just been pretty mind-blowing, I think. And then of course we've had connection as well, because we were, we didn't have family we could see, or a bubble. People talked about a bubble.
I know, these miraculous bubbles.
What's a bubble? We don't have a bubble.
We haven't got one.
No, we had an online, huge family, and that was it. And that was we didn't appreciate how amazing I think that was for connection.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that just wouldn't have spoken. People say that, I haven't spoken to anybody all week. This is the first time I just couldn't fathom it. So it's been amazing. And then of course we just kept doing it.
Yeah.
So lockdown ended, and we noticed a steep drop off on the weekend courses registrations, because people could go out and have fun. And we were kind of like, this is such a good sign, because people are living their lives. This is so good. We're not as needed, obviously, at the moment.
But people are still being highly affected by it still, of course. So we're still running the freebies, because it's nice to connect. And you know what it's like with the tools of NLP. We can get some pretty big changes really quickly. So we're lucky to be able to do that. And that's, helped us be better coaches as well. So it's been lovely to be able to help, because it's given us so much in our lives, because we were both at one point complete wrecks, and now we're doing all right. And we're able to help other people, so that's a bonus. We're ever grateful.
We're very grateful to NLP for everything, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the more people that we can share it with. But I think people almost started to need the tools more when they went back to their lives, because I think for a lot of introverts, it was like, oh, excellent, I get to work from home. Then suddenly they get all comfortable, and then they have to go back to work, and it's like, oh, the anxiety, so it's just been a really interesting couple of years. But we've kept doing all the free coaching. We've kept doing we haven't done the weekly webinars. I think we were both exhausted at the end of.
Have a break.
I think we got to about spring 2021, and I think we were both a bit like, I think we need to slow down a bit.
Can't remember how to speak.
It's so tiring. So but we've left all of the webinars available for everyone. It'll be interesting actually over time, I think, to look back at what the conversations were during that pandemic, and yes,
I mean, we have been through a historical time, haven't we? Didn't feel like it at the time, but it will be something. It will be one of those memorable occasions in our lives, and I remember thinking that on occasions, as you say, with the NLP skills that we have, actually we're quite lucky. I mean, it's a horrible situation, and it's an experience that we've gone through together. It has increased connection, and I'm a firm believer in every cloud has a silver lining. There is one somewhere in everything, and it's sort of wow, not everybody gets the opportunity to experience this. Not that I wish to experience it again necessarily, but it is just that opportunity to be different. And
I was going to say, do you know what? It never occurred to me before the pandemic that, because we weren't going to do our courses online even. We were like, no, it doesn't work. It couldn't work, possibly couldn't work. NLP is face-to-face. And in the end, there were so many people just sort of baying like for us to do it, that we were like, oh, of course, okay, fine, but it won't work, telling you now. But we didn't want them to miss out on the experience we'd had, so we were dubious, and it turned out that it was amazing. So the online training, people are almost more connected online because they can stay connected online all the time. They didn't have to go home. But what I didn't realize until we started doing courses online was how many people live in lockdown outside of the pandemic. And for them, a trip or accommodation or the money to travel or the childcare or the caring for elderly parents or the being available or the work or the shifts and everything else meant they couldn't travel to a face-to-face course. They couldn't have done a course near them even. So the idea of being online where they could just, we've had the breastfeeding going on in the background, we've had the whole thing, which has been, you just couldn't do that face to face.
It opens it out, doesn't it, to so many more people. And I think that it's just about knowing, as we've set virtual training criteria because there are, we were the same, no, can't do online training or anything. There are so many benefits to working in that way. And it is possible, everybody learned over 2 years. It is possible.
It's possible
to do it and still remain safe and look after your students, look after your clients, all those things that and that's the flexibility of NLP, isn't it? So.
That's it. And we've been coaching online for years, so we knew that you could get every result through coaching, through the NLP tools online. So it was just kind of, but how to teach it, and it has been just amazing. So I think it's helped people, not just because of the pandemic, but the online training, all the trainings that I've seen people take online, because I couldn't, with a baby now, I couldn't stay away from home. I couldn't do courses unless they were online now. So it has been, although it was a horrible 18 months, 2 years, it has been transformational for not just our business, but for NLP and, as a whole, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, I've got your nomination form in front of me, and the I should have the name of the person so Holly, who nominated you, she's written, "They are exceptional people and have made an outstanding contribution during the pandemic and beyond. As part of their large NLP student community, I wanted to honour the difference that they have made to me and so many others." So what does it mean to you to be nominated for this award and hear things like that?
It's a hard one to take, because we're just doing what we do, and we've always enjoyed taking care of people because we know how much it improved our lives. So it's just a lovely byproduct, really, and to watch the videos that the people made, and it's just really tough to watch because we're just doing our thing, whatever. But it's amazing. It's a real honor, and we're so grateful, and we just want to get better at it and help more, like everyone else does who's nominated. I'm sure it's just use ourselves. We keep saying to them, use and abuse us as much as you can, because we want to be here and help you along the way. So it means a huge amount to us, doesn't it? I think
I was really surprised when they did the video, the testimonials, and like how it helped. I think we get so busy in the doing that, and we know in our soul how useful the tools are, so we're never sort of surprised when people go, "Oh God, it works, doesn't it?" We're like, it does. But when somebody actually takes the time and I, you know, to say that really helped me, that was really amazing. I think I'm trying not to cry now, but it just it's means everything to us, that people found it helpful. I think that's, you know, that's NLP. I would say NLP rescued me. I don't know how you feel about it, but NLP rescued me from a very different life that I was going to lead. And we both knew that we were going to spend the rest of our lives serving NLP, like doing a service in return and sharing it with as many people as possible. So obviously when you're evangelical about something, you know it works for you, but you know, you might like salted caramel ice cream and someone else is like, oh, it's gross, I don't like it. So it means the world when someone else goes, yeah, I like it too. It's been really helpful. So, and there's been some really beautiful sort of outcomes, but you know, specific outcomes, and I don't suppose we take praise very well. we don't.
We need to work on
we're
it.
like,
I think I know a few people who might be able to help you with that.
Yeah, so we don't take, like, we're just so busy doing it that it's been amazing to actually stop and go, take it in, and actually people are really, really grateful, and it's like, okay. We set out to serve. That was our reason, and to see the effect. I think it's beautiful, it's lovely.
And for them to push themselves through those testimonials, and a lot of them were terrified of doing it.
Like videos,
That was really lovely. So we're really grateful.
Very grateful for the nomination.
Yeah.
So what one thing in your work do you think is making the difference?
Ooh.
In terms of how we help people with NLP, you mean? Or
in whatever way. I mean, it's a very general question that may hit you in different ways.
Sorry, for me, I think it's reminding people to have the compelling future, to have that outcome to work towards, because lots of people get stuck, or they have that moment where we did. We're like, holy moly, you know, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And then being resourceful enough to do something and then have outcomes to move towards. And I think so many people, certainly in the 45-minute sessions that we do with people, they say, I've got no energy, or I've got no motivation, and just giving them and reminding them to choose something to work towards that's inspiring and energizes them again is really key. And we always talk about having a compelling future being important, but just reminding people is
that you have choice and you can create it.
That's it, you're in control, and that's cool. That's a cool thing to have to do. That's made probably one of the biggest differences with people, just to keep reminding them when they have their wobbles. And ourselves too.
I think from my perspective, especially because I see the way that Nick is, I can't see the way I am, I can see the way that Nick is as well. For me, because we know that NLP's helped us, it's not just about the NLP tools. It's having, I don't know about you, but when you believe in people, it's like this magic elixir that they may not have anybody else in their life that unconditionally loves them, believes in them utterly and 100%. And when you teach people NLP, not only do we, obviously they get that for granted from us, that it's, you know, we love you the way you are, it's fine, you be you and learn the tools, our love is unconditional, and we believe in you. But when you teach the community those values, and then everybody treats everybody as if they're capable of anything, that I think for us has become the most powerful thing, that these groups of people that would probably never ever get together in life in any other natural way, groups that have been on courses together, and then they stick together because they know that there's help there when they need it, there's love there when they need it, and there's someone to believe in them 100% whenever they need it, and not just one person, the whole gang. And so I think there's I think NLP gives you that reminder of the compelling future, but I think the community gives you the love and the connection and the belief. I think that for me is, I've seen people transform just because you believe in them, and we know anything's possible, and here are the tools to help you do that. For me, that's the bit that transforms.
That's a good point.
And then they need the compelling feature to know what to do. Yeah.
It all wrapped beautifully into one, doesn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
So where would you like to see, I mean, you've almost answered this question, but I'm going to ask it. Where would you like to see NLP, and particularly your work, in the future?
Gosh.
Blimey, there's a question.
Oh, well, I think we need to think further ahead, obviously. Well, I'm a big believer that everybody has the kind of right to learn these tools. I do a lot of work in the kind of conscious parenting, so helping parents realize their kids already know NLP, and maybe to learn a bit from the kids. I think seeing our students go out there and fill those gaps, I think, in society is really important. So, people lecturing to teachers, and and also, we see lots of different people starting different coaching businesses, sharing NLP with different areas, and that for me, I think, is the best thing. For ourselves, I think for me, the healing, I think, areas, the fertility, the miracle baby, taking the mind-body connection, gosh, to see that just be everyday language, just people understanding the connection with their mind and body would be amazing. Because obviously in NLP, you got to take it for granted with anchoring that, you change your physiology. So I think it just becoming common knowledge. I think that's always been what we've set out to do, is why doesn't everybody know this?
Yes. Yeah.
I think, we talked about starting our own school, in terms of, we've got a young son, obviously. We want him to live and breathe these kind of presuppositions, these notions, these skills. We want him to be schooled in that way. We want that to be unlimited. So that's become a new thought process for us, is maybe we need to think about how do you start maybe a mission of homeschooling, or just different, or NLP schools,
NLP based schooling. That's
right. It's been a passion, I think, for a while now, to think about that. So right now we just want to make it more available. I think that's the key. Make everything, all the free information, how to change your life, I think, is the basics. Make that available to every single human being who's ready for it and wants it.
Yeah.
I think number one.
Absolutely.
Make it more available, more accessible. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Jess and Nick. It's been an absolute delight talking to you. As I said, you are finalists in the 2022 NLP Awards. Yeah,
amazing.
We are going to be having a live virtual ceremony on the 13th of May. So, but we'll send out further details about that. But it's been an absolute delight to talk to you both.